I am Ramon Agallis, Jesse Agallis' dad. I'm sitting down here with Coach Pere Ariweriyai, ex-professional soccer player, and Jesse's coach and the technical director at the club that Jesse plays at. And I just asked him to come down and chat and spend some time with me to discuss Jesse's game and after his debut match with his club. So Coach, thanks for coming down, making the time to come and chat to me. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm Pere Ariweriyai, former Amazulu captain in Santos and Platinum Stars, which is now Silver Stars. And I'm the coach of Parklands Football Academy. So yeah, Ramon, thanks for inviting me here. It's a pleasure being here with you.
Okay, so Coach, you've got a love for the sport and an absolute commitment, dedication and passion for developing the sport and for developing young players. And I just love that about you, and your love and your passion for the sport is just so contagious. Can you tell me a bit about your love for the sport and where you got that from?
My love for the game came from obviously growing up playing the game, enjoying being in the football environment, and also looking back and thinking about how much people have invested in me becoming a better player, finding myself playing professional football, and spending so many years in the football environment. There's no reason why you shouldn't love the game. And my love for developing youngsters and then giving back to youngsters was based on the fact that lots of people believed in me when I was a youngster. I was given the opportunity to play in the first team at a very young age, to find myself called up in the Nigerian under-23 at a very young age. So when you retire from the game, all you thought about is how can I inspire other youngsters to become something like better than me. I have more passion, because the more you believe in youngsters, the more you give them the opportunity to love the game more. You make them feel valuable, you make them feel accepted, you make them feel good enough. And I think that's where my love came in, and I thought about, yeah, this is good, and I give back to them and see how it goes. And honestly, it's turning out to be more exciting than I expected, and seeing boys improving, young talents improving.
Coach Pere, you're talking about developing young players and young talent, and I can attest to that, because the first time that I was really introduced to you was with Jesse when he started playing at the club that he's playing at now, and yeah, our first interaction I remember quite clearly, like it was yesterday. I was on the park. Jesse wanted to go train. He was about 12 years old at the time, 12 or 13 at the time, and he wanted to go practice his passing, and we were on the side just going through a couple of drills, passing balls, and then after your training session, you happened to be training with the first team at the time, and after your training session, you came over to us and asked me if I mind to have Jesse come and train with you, and I thought, wow, that is crazy, that is nuts. I mean, here we're talking about an ex-PSL star asking me if I mind if my son were to come and train with him. I thought, wow, really, I couldn't believe it. What did you see about Jesse at that point in time that made you come over to me? Maybe just take us through that. I don't know if you can remember that, but that incident, but take us through us and just what you saw in Jesse, what made you come over?
You was talking about the first time I saw Jesse, the incident. I honestly do not recall that incident, but I think it must have been the fact that the quality I saw in a youngster, his first touch on the ball. A coach once told me recently, which the coach was right, that the best scouts are footballers. The best scouts are footballers. So being played the game for 13, 14 years, of course I've accumulated a lot of ideas of what can make it, what makes a good player. How do you spot a good player? When I saw him, I think it must have been by his first touch, because he has one of the rare qualities of many players, which their first touch is what they use to beat players. When the pass is coming to them, the first control on the ball can determine the direction, how they beat the opposition. I think when I saw that, I think that must have been the reason why I asked you to bring him to come and work with me. And up to today, he still has that quality. His first touch on the ball is always brilliant. So yeah, I think that answers that. And for me, my love for youngsters comes, like I said, it comes based on so many people believe in me in the past. Yes, I had moments where certain people did not believe in me, certain coaches at a young age. And then all of a sudden you get one person or two that believed in you and said, I'm prepared to take you further. I think that alone motivated me. And when I look back into my football career, how I started up to this stage, makes me believe more in youngsters, and seeing them improving, working with them, how they are growing and understanding the game, gives me more joy, makes me more passionate to want to do more, want to invest more time with them. So yeah, I think that's how my love started. In fact, that somebody invested in me, and I decided I'm going to invest back into youngsters.
So the next question I have for you is, in 2019, December 2019, during an off-season, Jesse was busy training with you, and you came to me after one of his training sessions. I don't know if you remember this at all, and you said to me you wanted Jesse to play first team. He was 14 years old at the time, and I just said to you, no, I don't think he's ready. I was obviously, as a parent, I was concerned about his well-being. He's playing in the club that you guys play for, playing in a very competitive league, and I've seen some fights break out. I've seen some horrendous tackles, and so I was really concerned. You were wanting to introduce a 14-year-old to play alongside with adults, play against adults. In a promotional league that is extremely competitive. I had my reservations about it at the time, and I remember telling you, no, I don't think he's ready. But then, following another session, you came to me again, and you repeated your statement that you said the first time around, that you wanted Jesse to play in the first team, and I said to you, no, I didn't think it was a good idea, and obviously I had some time to think about it, and I just said no. I was concerned, and I thought that it was perhaps better for you to introduce him to perhaps the second team. I know you don't like talking about the first team and the second team because you see them all as one team, but I mean, you had a big squad back then. And I said to you, rather introduce him as a first reserve to play in the second team, or maybe an under 18 or something like that. And I thought, we'd leave it at that until after a subsequent training session, you then just in front of the rest of the first team players, you then just said that you singled Jesse out as in your mind the only player that was ready for the first team at that stage, and that the rest of the players still had to prove themselves. And I thought, okay, well, it looks like I'm losing this battle. So that was in 2019, and then we got hit with COVID, and so his debut didn't happen in 2020, and I was actually quite relieved about that. I gave him a bit more time to develop his strength and his ability, and to develop physically, and also to develop his game. And so he made his first appearance now for you in the first team. His debut match came just this past Saturday. You want to tell us a bit about that? Tell us a bit maybe about what you thought about the game?
For me, before I decided Jesse is ready to play for the first team, I mean, if you have a player who has the ability to have a good face touch all the time. Let me use the word. Let me compare. I know that it makes sense to compare with the likes of Son, compare with the likes of Andrei Shevchenko, compared to the likes of Ruud van Nistelrooy, all those great strikers. Thierry Henry, their face touch was their key. If they have a good face touch, they have the ability to go past any defender. And Jesse has such quality, and he's been working with me privately. So when I look at the quality that he has, and look at the quality that we have in the first team, and look at the striker, none of them has that same quality that he has. And I look at it, and I'm like, maybe I should give this youngster a chance of training with the first team and see how he handled it. And to my surprise, I was right, because I wasn't wrong. I was thinking about he'll be able to handle it if he's strong enough any day. And that motivated me to put him when we played against the second division team. I remember in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, or 2020, we played against the first division team, and he started the game and he did exactly what I was expected of him based on his quality. So that alone gives me the idea and said, okay, this boy can play in the first team, but then the only thing is now I need to trust him more. So then I had to trust him to play. And when we resume again and play our first game, obviously I had to bring him in the second half. Was based on the fact that I knew that he can do the same thing that he has done in that friendly match against the second division team we played. I just have that trust, that belief, and say if he could do it then against a way more better understanding professional side, why not in the amateur level in the first team? So when I put him in the game, to my surprise, he came in and he changed the game, because at the time we were like 1-1. I was panicking and I was like, there's no way I want to lose this game, there's no way I want to draw this game, I wanted all 3 points. And I looked on the bench and I looked at him, I said I needed a player who has a speed, I needed a player who has a good face touch, someone who can change the game. And he was the first player that came to mind when I think of what was lacking in the field of play. When I brought him in, he did exactly the same, and he changed the play. He actually gave us a more attacking mindset, where he had to take all the attention, because all the attention was on the striker at the time that was playing, and the striker was finding it difficult. But when I bring him in with his speed and his first touch, the ability to take players on, now the focus moved from our top 9 or from our main leading striker to him. So when that happens, now it takes the pressure off our main leading striker. I think that resulted to the reason why we end up scoring 2 more goals to end the game with a 3-1. So I think that was the reason. It has to do with trust, and like I said, the fact that I've worked with him, see his ability of on the ball and off the ball, the runs he can make, and how quick he is. I mean, who wouldn't want to use a player like that when you have a player like that on the team and on the bench? So yeah, I think that game was something else. It was a game that I cannot describe, but the fact that he came in and he proved me right, it's something to take home and say, I still need this player in my team. So I think it's about trust. So that's why I brought him in.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Yes, I really do appreciate the time that you spent with me, and also all your input into Jesse's coaching. And certainly something that I can take away from that as well is that as a parent, I need to learn to trust you more as well. I think it's really easy as a parent to want to protect your kid and to not expose him to undue risk. But I think you knew what you were doing when you wanted to start grooming Jesse to play in the first team. So thanks again for all your endeavors, for your passion for the game, your love of the sport, and your desire to want to grow and develop talent. And in your team, in your squad, to be honest, you've got a lot of very good, very exciting, up-and-coming young players. Thanks for all your efforts, Coach.
Thank you, Ramon, for inviting me, for having this chat about your son. It's also very important for other parents out there to know that they need to invest in the kids. If you want your kid to go further in the game, invest in your kid. There's no amount of investment that will be enough on your kid. Keep investing and investing because somebody invested in us before we became what we are today. So thank you for this opportunity, Ramon. See you soon.